Vic Fangio is holding some secrets when it comes to his analytics. If you didn't hear what he said the other day on how he handles his analytics, he doesn't tell nobody nothing about how he handles everything. I want to kind of get into that. And the James Bradberry sweepstakes for trade could be happening really soon with some cornerback needy teams about to make some phone calls to the Eagles. Let's get into it. Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I hope everyone's enjoying their week as of right now. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss after the first few days of Eagles training camp. And I think the number one thing we're talking about today is James Bradberry, because this has been a lingering thing the last few days. What have the Eagles done with him so far? Not much. All they've done is put him as a second-team safety. They haven't played him at cornerback the last 3 days, or two technically on field 2 days of training camp. We know what this whole issue is. There are Eagle fans that want Bradberry to stay. There are Eagle fans that want him to go. And keeping Bradberry on this roster this year is going to, we're going to end up cutting a young talent from this team at the cornerback spot. And he's going to be gone. And unfortunately, keeping Bradberry here is not a future asset for us. It just makes no sense. Vic Fangio had some things to say about him the other day, if you guys missed it, and pretty much was like, oh, he's open to playing a new position, all this stuff, and, that he's going to get snaps at corner. He will get his chance, which he has not played at all yet. He talked about how little success corners transition to safety. So, you have to listen to Vic Fangio. He's been around a long time. He's been around a lot of years. He's been around a lot of rosters, a lot of players. So if there's anybody to listen to when it comes to certain things, and I like Vic Fangio because he is a straight shooter when it comes to his press conferences, as I've learned, he's very straight up with everything. Now, if there's something he's not going to tell you when it comes to game planning, he's not going to tell you anything, which we'll get to later in this video. But James Bradberry, he seemed pretty open about it. He thinks he's a very smart player, but, to me, it's like the guy's getting paid a top salary as a second-team safety right now, not even playing cornerback. So at this point, I'm sorry, but I think Isaiah Rodgers can be here long-term. Quinyon Mitchell's your first-round pick, and who knows how that's going to come out. He's going to be here. There's just way too much in front of Bradberry. I just think, as for a more athletically sound type, you have to be more athletically sound in this scheme when it comes to fast break tackles and being really quick off blocks and making tackles. So I just feel like, Bradberry, I just feel like it's just a waste of time right now. It's just a total waste of time. The Eagles haven't wasted any time. Bradberry has not played first team, second team at cornerback. He hasn't touched the position at all yet. So what is the future of James Bradberry? We're hoping that, we thought him going to safety was a complete joke. From OTAs to training camp, we heard, he's going to safety. That's where we want to put him. And we kind of laughed and thought it was like a big smokescreen or a marketing ploy or driving his value up. I don't know what it was. Okay, but around the league, things do happen here. And I think Bradberry is gone. If he's here, I'll probably be more pissed off than anything if we have to get rid of Eli Ricks or get rid of one of our, depth corners. And it's really, this is a perfect situation for the Eagles for the future of your secondary. Because this is like the first year where the Eagles have, the last couple of years, they've put in a lot of resources into the secondary, more than the defensive line. Okay, I'm talking depth, especially on the D-line, because I don't think it's fantastic. But I think they put a lot into their secondary, which is definitely different for the Eagles. This is a different approach going into this year. Now, I think this is interesting. Now, the Vikings did lose a cornerback in Mekhi Blackman. He was a third-round pick in 23, played in 5 games, started 3 games. So the Vikings have been down a couple corners now. Blackman is down now. They lost Kyrie Jackson to that fatal car accident, which was, God, that was horrible and really sad. Just horrible. Rest in peace. And just, I don't even know how to deal with things like that when I see that these guys end up dying at a young age, just kids, it's horrible. So not the Vikings' fault. These horrible things just happened. So the Vikings are very down at cornerback right now. This could be a spot for James Bradberry for a veteran presence down the line. Early in the offseason for the Vikings, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, the GM, he did talk about that. They were going to be in market for a cornerback. So the interest could be there for James Bradberry if the call is made going down. So Derlon Kendrick from the Rams is another one. He's a 6th-round pick. He only had 2 starts last year, but has had, it was a player that showed some promise, that he flashed a little bit last year. Now the Rams did sign Tre'Davious White from the Bills, over, I think he is 30 or probably over that right now. Tre'Davious White had an Achilles, an ACL week 4 of last season, so a lot could be put on him. But you're the guy coming off of an injury like that, it's kind of crazy. How much are you putting into Tre'Davious? Well, Tre'Davious White is nothing more than a rental for the Rams. Because they really had nothing else that they could do going into this offseason program. So Rams are really low at the corner spot. And really, other than that, I haven't really heard about other teams, but these are like the top 2 teams that have had some crucial injuries at that position and could be opening up a big trade for James Bradberry. Now, what are you going to get back for him compensation-wise? You're not going to get much. I mean, literally, I'm expecting a 6th to 7th round pick for 27, 28. I don't care if it's 5, 6 years down the line for a draft. Just get rid of him, because I'd rather take a crappy draft pick and keep this youth movement in the building than keeping him on the roster and one of these young cornerbacks having to get cut for a rental player for the year at a high salary, whether it's the second team safety, which I think is still ridiculous at this point. So I don't know which direction they're going to go here, but if this is me making the decision, this is me like literally sitting here, like there's no way the Eagles are sitting there. I mean, they're bluffing if they think they're keeping him. They're totally bluffing this whole entire situation. I'll be shocked if Bradberry is still here going into the regular season. Okay. Now, when it comes to his contract, I know if he gets flat out released, it's like $10.5 million against the cap, $1.2 million in savings. So it's a nice little chunk that they have to take on, but it's not as much as everyone thinks it is. I don't know what the numbers are if they do trade him. Now, they could make a deal with a trade partner to pay off some of his salary, so it takes some cap off the Eagles. Maybe they pay up a few $1 million already, so it takes a little bit of pressure off. Or what the Eagles can do is they can extend Bradberry's contract for a couple years and then trade him to lessen those dead cap hits for a few years and eat a lot less money up if that's what they want to do. So there's loopholes around this whole thing with Bradberry's contract. People are like, it's impossible, we can't trade him. Yes, it's not impossible to trade him. It's not impossible to get this done. So I want to know from you guys how you feel about the situation with James Bradberry and what you're kind of looking for. When do you think the move is going to get done, or do you perfectly believe that he's staying here? I think the Eagles are bluffing like crazy right now over this. Like, he's not even playing cornerback right now, and really 2 days on the grass, 1 day in the weight room, really two training camp days on the grass, and nothing. So that's where we're at right now with that whole situation. Now, I want to go into Vic Fangio's comments, okay? So Vic Fangio, there was comments on Vic Fangio on his analytics, and Vic Fangio is a big fan of analytics, but he's also hiding a big secret within those analytics. No protege of Vic Fangio knows how Vic Fangio deals with analytics off the field, I could say, or pretty much before game day. Like, Vic Fangio is very private with this, and he says that there's a lot, just like how Doug Peterson, or how he used to kind of do analytics in the Doug Peterson era, especially late in the era, where, like, if it's a 3rd and 2, well, if the Eagles do this play offensively on 3rd and 2, what's the percentage that they win this game? What is the percentage that this play isn't successful? Like, I don't like when teams put too much into their analytics. They don't make their own decisions. They rely too much on a chart and it kind of makes me nervous there. But Vic Fangio has been around a long time, and we don't know what he does. He won't tell anybody how he deals with game plan analytics or just analytics in general. So he gets the information from the team. Obviously, the Eagles analytical department will give Fangio this information. Fangio will take that information, and we don't know what he does with it. We don't know how he figures it out, how he game plans. So I mean, I don't mind the mystery. I mean, we're going to find out what it looks like once we hit the regular season. But it sure is exciting because he wouldn't give up really anything when it came to some of the news involving his own analytics and how he does things. It's really backstage, very private. I mean, the Eagles finally get the right defensive, especially since I'm not a fan of this scheme. Okay, the Eagles finally get the right defensive coordinator for this scheme. The Fangio scheme is now run by the one and only Vic Fangio. We're not getting followers. We're not getting the blueprint of Vic Fangio from a coach that's worked with him, like Sean Desai that worked under Fangio, but apparently did not know anything. And obviously, Nick had more control than we realized, and was demoted. So we really, if you're going to get the best guy in the building, he's the best guy for the job. Okay. Vic Fangio is here for, is going to be here. I think he'll be here for a few years. I don't think he's going anywhere unless we really just crumble. His defense totally fails. And this off-ball defense is just, because of the situation and getting specific players for this defense, for this scheme. If it totally fails, then yeah, things, changes will be made. But he's already been a head coach. He's been a defensive coordinator a bunch of times in his career, and he's one of the most well-respected coaches. It's the truth. So, like I said, don't know what he does with the analytics and how much he puts in analytics when it comes to game day decisions on play calling. How much do these decisions make him, go with his own intuition, with his own brain to say, okay, we're not going to follow analytics on this play. We're going to do what I think is right for this next play. Or I don't know how he's going to do it, but it's actually really exciting. And it's kind of weird. There's a little mystery to it. So we're going to find out a lot of different things going forward and just see how it goes. But, that's pretty much it. With Vic Fangio and his secrets and what's going on. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. So a few days of training camp already. I'm very excited. Kind of want to go over these couple things with you because I think it's really important. I'll see James Bradberry. What do you think of the situation? Where do you think he's going to go? Do you think the Eagles are bluffing? Is James Bradberry staying? And obviously Vic Fangio, do you feel better about the situation now? The players seem really excited. There's no weirdness to the players, no negativity from the players or showing signs of negativity to how they're being coached and what's going on. Because this defense, to me, is still a big question mark. There's still a lot of competition between linebackers, cornerbacks. There's a lot of competition left right now. And those are the top two positions right now that are in competition. So the best players will play. I've liked everything that Vic Fangio has said during these press conferences, showing that he is a hard-nosed coach. Players are rewarded, and obviously players are going to be called out, when they make mistakes. And he's not playing any favoritism. He's not, just sticking with a player just because. And if you're a rookie and you could play and you could beat anybody on this roster, he's going to play you. There is a big rumor that he doesn't like to start rookies, and he said during the press conference that no, that's not the case at all. If a rookie is worthy to play and is better than anybody else, they will be worthy to play. They will start the first day. So I feel good. Fangio, I feel good about it. I feel good about everything he said. But we've been down this road a million times. Talk is talk, but he's got to walk the walk when it comes to game playing this defense, and I think he's got full control, and I feel really good about it. So let me know how you guys feel about that whole situation. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. Make sure you like the video. This helps out the channel out tremendously. And if you guys haven't checked out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch, definitely check it out in the link in the description below. And in a few days, we're going to be unveiling the new line of the Philly Shakedown podcast merch in a live stream. So we're very excited to unveil that to you guys in a few days. You guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.